gold. So I will not be anymore. I will not be sharing a video of the previous podcast anymore. Instead, I'd like you to visit my YouTube account. I already created a YouTube account wherein I plan to put a lot of trading materials and upload the sessions that we have here, so that for those who have missed or probably would like to have a review of what they have learned in our session for today, you can just go back to the previous sessions. Not all the sessions were uploaded here. You can also check my check my Discord server wherein the previous sessions were recorded and shared there. So these are the links. You can just check the links on my YouTube account. And then don't forget that we have the current uh, we have just launched a instant account, a $5,000 instant account. So make sure to check the rules before taking this account. So let's continue now with, thank you Eric for posting the link. Now let's proceed with the gold analysis. So allow me to start right away with the previous analysis that I have shared, that I have been sharing in this podcast. We started, it was almost a year ago, May 8th, I started being as a visitor analyst in this uh, weekly event. And then from there, since and after that, August last year, I was invited to do a regular bi-weekly podcast hosting. And from there, I have been giving a wave by wave updates of gold, and it has been a long journey. I think the price back then was around 2,300, and now the price of gold, the all-time high is around 3,500 already. So here's the Elliott wave counts of gold. So last time uh, when I analyzed this live, I originally uh, counted this as a triangle, and then alternative count for this will be, this will the wave B here. The wave B here will be the wave one, and then 3, 4, and 5. However, the market did not end based on the possible fifth wave here. It created a new high. That means I have to reconsider my original analysis, that I'll take this as a triangle. Then after that, I'll count the next 5 waves. From there, I'll label this as wave one. And then what we are experiencing right now is just the third wave of the next possible impulse uh, wave. Meaning, my target originally for the wave 3 here is just 3,498.56, but the actual market gave us 3,500. Close enough. And then after that, since based on my Elliott wave counts, I'm expecting that it will create a retracement or correction after reaching this particular level. For those who are curious, how did I measure that particular price level, the 3,430 and the 3,498? So, and in Elliott wave theory, all you have to do is make sure to identify your waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So meaning the measurement will always be based on these wave numbers. Let me just change it into capital because the analysis that I have shared is from capital. Okay, as you can see here, from the original analysis that I have here, I'm expecting that there will be a retracement after reaching this particular price level. And how did I measure it? All I have to do is use the trend-based fib extension and then plot it from the wave 0. If I'm projecting the wave 3 here, you have to plot it from the wave 0 to, let me show you the trend line so that you can see the where I plotted it. So all you have to do is use the trend-based fib extension, this one, and then plot it to the wave 0 of the possible wave 3. Remember that this is wave 1, 2, 3. So to project wave 3, you use the trend-based fib extension, plot it in the origin or the wave 0. Then next will be wave 1 and then wave 2. So to do that, manually you have to do it like this. You plot it here, plot it to the wave 1, and then plot it to the wave 2. What are the targets for the wave 3 in Elliott wave theory? So the targets for wave 3 will be the golden level, which is the 1.618. In my case, I use two levels based on my backtest, 1.414 to 1.618. And that's the reason why I projected that the price will do a retracement once it reached the 3,498 level. And it did, based on the technicals on the Elliott wave theory. And what we are experiencing right now is just the retracement for this wave 4 here. So what are the possible uh, areas where we can find a possible reversal? So I already gave or prepared here the possible retracement levels. And in my case, I am using the implied fair value gap. The implied fair value gap is a three candle pattern wherein the middle candle is the largest. So in this case, H1. So allow me to hide this first, and then let's check the H1 time frame. Make sure to go to the H1 time frame, and then let's zoom in that large candle with overlapping wicks. So this three candle pattern is what we call the implied fair value gap, and wherein the middle candle is the largest among the three, and the two surrounding candles must be overlapping. So if you want to measure that, you can use this and you can use this because both have the same large bodied candle. So this is the first possible bounce level, and the next possible bounce level will be this one. So to measure it, all you have to do is measure the wick, find its 50%, 50%, or the CE, the 50%. Then after that, in my case, I always label it based on the time frame where I found that particular implied fair value gap. Probably Eric will be surprised with this because do you know that implied fair value gap are usually the important uh, levels of the volume profile? To show you what I meant by that, let me add a uh, profile indicator. Okay, so here's a volume profile indicator. I have I have the following levels here, H1, which is close to the POC of the volume profile indicator. So if I have identified here an H3, if I'll change it into H3, you will see that the POC or the point of control is also within that implied fair value gap. So probably this is one of the answers to the one of the possible answers to Eric's question in the last podcast, wherein these implied fair value gap are coincidentally within the important levels of the volume profile. But I'll be giving you a different levels, important levels based on how I analyze the market. But for now, perhaps this would give an explanation to the question why what's the what's the rationale behind the implied fair value gap or the fair value gap. So going back to the analysis, so the possible reversal zones will be this implied fair value gap at 1 hour time frame. Okay, so if we will check the 1 hour time frame, and let's see if the implied fair value gap is still valid, all you have to do is, of course, you have to get the upper boundary and the lower boundary of that implied fair value gap. In this case, this one is the upper boundary, and the other one is the lower boundary of the implied fair value gap. But usually, I'll maximize my possible gain by using the lower boundary in a bullish scenario and the upper boundary of an implied fair value gap in a bearish scenario. Now, how do I know that the implied fair value gap is already invalidated? An implied fair value gap, based on my research findings, is that it will be invalidated if and only if the lower boundary will be body broken. In this case, we have a big or a large candle here that uh, that that breaks the H1 lower boundary implied fair value gap. So from here, this is already a sign that the the trend will continue to go down. And we have identified another H1 here, or implied fair value gap, at 3,272. And as you can see, this is still 1 hour time frame. It did not body breaks, or it did not body break the this particular price level. That's why we see a good reaction here. But once the 1 hour time frame closes this particular, if this recent candle breaks this um, implied fair value gap, then we will see the next possible support, which is also an implied fair value gap that can be found at 3 hour time frame. So as you can see here, there's also, you can also use the implied fair value, the bearish implied fair value gap. In this case, I've noticed an implied fair value gap at 2 hour time frame, this one. So if we will try to get the upper boundary, although the third candle is not that has not so low a long wick, but this is still considered an implied fair value gap because the wicks are overlapping and the middle candle is large. As you can see, if you have traded this, then you will see the possible reversal at 3,382. Actually, I have a trade about that, and then this is my analysis before it happened. Sorry. If you will try to look at this one, This is my Elliott wave counts for the uh, possible continuation of the correction. And as you can see, the price uh, created the same price action based on the Elliott wave counts. Let's look at this. Let's change it into TVC because that's the broker that I use. And let me activate this one. Going back here, this is this is 15 minutes time frame. So let's check on the 15 minutes time frame. This is the untouched or unmodified analysis that I made a while ago. And as I have mentioned, H2, the implied fair value gap, H2 is the best EP for the or enterprise for the continuation of the retracement or correction. Let's see if chart the chart somehow looks alike, or the price action, although it was not exactly the market did not exactly do a do pivots on the drone path, but basically this will give us this will give me as the trader or analyst the possible direction of the market. And as of now, from wave 4 here to wave 5 here, it did as planned and as forecasted, and then it did a bounce, at least three waves bounce, and then it is now creating 5 waves down. And my next target will be H3 to H4. So the perhaps other Elliotticians would already take this low, the London low, as the possible, rather the Asian low as the possible reversal zone. However, based on the Elliott wave counts, that's the reason why I announced that I don't think that the wave A is already completed, simply because the internal waves are not completed. For those who are Elliotticians, let me give you the reason why my counting looks like this. So in Elliott wave theory, a wave is only terminated if and only if the internal waves are completed. In the case of wave one must have 5 internal waves. In this case, we have here the wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if you will try to look at the counting carefully, the absolute rule is wave 3 must not be the shortest. As you can see here, wave 3 is 30 pips, 30 standard pips, while wave 1 is around less than 30, 23 standard pips. So that means this is a valid internal waves of the encircled wave 1. And then after that, please take note, I'd like you to look at the price of wave 1. The price of wave 1 here, or the retracement of wave 4 breaks the territory of wave 1. In Elliott wave theory, we call this as diagonal. So since this is the first 5 waves, we call this as the leading diagonal. Okay, what's the reason why I did not consider this as my wave 3 right away? Perhaps other Elliotticians will label this as this will be the 2, and then they will label this as the 3, the 4, and the 5. However, in my case, the 3, the 4, and the 5. So I'm referring to the encircled waves. The reason why I did not terminated the wave encircled wave 2 to wave 3 here simply because of the next 5 waves. Let's try to count the next 5 waves. The next 5 waves is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 5. So as you can see, we have another 5 waves. Just like what I've mentioned a while ago, in Elliott wave theory, a motive wave must complete. For it to be terminated, the 5 waves must be completed. However, in this case, although it created 5 waves already, if we will try to look at the wave 4 retracement, look at this. The wave 4 retracement overlap it overlaps the territory of wave 1. So in Elliott wave theory, there is what we call rule of alternation. What is rule of alternation? From the word itself, alternate. Therefore, if the leading first 5 waves is a diagonal, meaning the fourth wave uh, overlaps the territory of wave 1, then the next wave should not do a diagonal, or else it will not be considered as an impulse wave. Because when we say impulse wave, sorry, because when we say impulse wave in Elliott wave theory, an impulse wave or motive wave, the wave 3 must not be a diagonal. Among the 5 waves here, the only wave that must not be a diagonal is the internal waves of wave 2 to 3. Meaning, if I'm going to create another 5 waves here, the internal waves of this third wave must not be a diagonal. When I say must not be a diagonal, it should not go beyond the territory of wave 1. But in this case, if you will try to look at it carefully, after counting the waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the wave 4 went beyond the territory of our wave 1. That means this is a diagonal. What do that means in Elliott wave theory? That means we cannot consider this as the encircled wave 3, 4, and then 5. So I cannot terminate the wave 3 here because it did not satisfy the characteristic of a wave 3, wherein wave 3 must not have a diagonal 5 waves, internal waves, which is wave 4 going to overlapping the territory of wave 1. So with that in mind, as an electrician who have been doing a lot of wave counts from minutes time frame to the highest possible time frame, I cannot take this as my wave 3. So I label this as wave 1. I label this as wave 1. Another wave 1 as internal waves of the encircled wave 2 to 3, and then wave 3, 4, and 5. The reason why I use this as wave 3 because there is no overlapping of the wave 4 anymore. Let's look at this. Wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have here the 5. So if we will try to check the price of wave 1 here or wave 4 here, sorry, the wave 3 is here, the wave 4 is here, and then the wave 5 is here. So basically the wave 4 did not break the territory of the wave 1. That's why I consider this as the terminated third wave. So from here I label this as impulse wave 3, wave 4, and then I projected it as another 5 waves down from the wave 4 here. And that's why we have the following counts. So I'm expecting that there will be 5 waves down, uh, continuation of the downtrend. As of now, we only have 4 waves. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So therefore, I'm expecting that it will create another low. And the possible target will be the implied fair value gap that that was identified at 3-hour time frame or 4-hour time frame. Now, for example, if you're having difficulty in identifying the implied fair value gap, I have an alternative solution. And this is one of the results of my research findings, which is what I call the previous body candle theory. Now, as someone who studied little programming, I created an indicator for my previous body candle theory. So what is previous previous body candle theory? It's basically the the usual levels, the for ICT traders, they call this as the internal liquidities and the external liquidities. But in the case of the internal and external liquidities, usually the wicks of the previous day high or the previous day low, the previous week high, previous week low are only considered. But in my previous candle theory, I am using not only the wicks of the previous day, week, or month, but I am also using the body. That's why it's called previous body candle theory. So to do that, since you don't, perhaps you don't have the what do you call this, the indicator, all you have to do is plot the previous body low and the previous body high like this. So all you have to do is activate the the 0 and the 1 for you to be able to identify the previous body high and low. And as you can see, we have here the yellow colored uh, price at the price scale, and this is basically the previous body high and the previous body low. I want you to carefully observe how the price reacts on these levels, not only the wicks of the previous day, the previous week, and the previous month, but the body of the previous candle can tell you a lot of story whether the market will continue its trend or do a reversal. So let me change the time frame into lower time frame, which is the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, this is the opening of the market. Um, 6 a.m. For those who are not aware, I am using the +8 GMT +8 because I'm from the Philippines. Probably it's obvious on how the way I talk, but the universal language of a trader is the chart, and I think we can all agree that we traders understand each other if we talk the language of the charts. So going back to my analysis, okay, going back to my analysis, here we have the opening of the market, and as you can see, this is today is Wednesday, and usually there's what we call the market rollover. For those who are not careful in their trades, slippage usually happen during the slippage is around 2 times or 3 times depending on the market during Wednesdays. So be careful in trading Wednesday, especially if you have an existing position. Make sure to set SL always or stop losses always, because if you're if you're trading a personal account here, uh, then probably your what you call this, your stop loss will not be triggered because of this slippage. So one of the advantage of the Blue Guardian, of course, is the Guardian Shield, wherein once at one if your loss is around 1%, the it will help you to close the market. But for more details about that, you can ask the support for it. But going back to what I've mentioned, how the previous candle theory is important in terms of trading the market. Look at the price where the the downtrend continued. This is the previous body low, previous day body low. It can be a good entry point for the continuation of the downtrend. And what will be your targets? The usual targets are just the wicks of the highs, or the highs and the lows of the previous day, weeks, or months. But in this case, you will also consider the previous body of the week, the previous body of the week, previous body of the month. So in this case, if your entry price is at the previous body low, then your targets will be, scalp targets will be the previous day low. Once that is broken, the next level will be the previous week high, week high. Once that is broken, the next target will be the previous week body high. And then once that is broken, the next target will be the previous week body low. And if we will try to activate the implied fair value gap, as you can see, these implied fair value gaps are also in confluence with the previous body candle theory, or the identified levels of the previous candles, like the daily, the weekly, the monthly, and uh, the weekly, the monthly, and the daily. So once this is taken, then the next target will be the previous week low. That will be very uh, bearish once the previous week low will be taken. But as of now, if we will try to base it on the Elliott wave counts, it is expected that the price will have a bounce, at least 3 waves bounce, before it will continue to go down. We have entered the correction already, so expect that there will be a bounce here, probably after taking the H or H4 implied fair value gap, before the next 5 waves down. Once the first 5 waves are completed, it will create 3 waves up as a bounce, and then it will continue to go down, and perhaps the target will be the previous month body high, or the previous month body the previous month high, or the previous month body low. But that would be at the closing of the monthly candle. So because since this is previous monthly, or the previous body candle theory, the opening and the closing of the previous candle is the most important levels of the continuation or the reversal of the trend. So in this case, what if Sir Jack, what if I was not able to catch this entry, or entry short for the previous day body low? I have created another system which is similar to the quarterly theory. What is this quarterly theory? It's like the quarterly theory by day, uh, but reloaded in a different time frame. When I say reloaded in a different time frame, the original quarterly theory by day is the year was divided into 4 quarters. The months is divided into 4 quarters. The weeks are divided into 4 quarters. The days divided into 4 quarters, and then the 4 quarters of the day are the Asian, London, the New York, and the New York and the PM session. So the reason why it's called quarterly theory reloaded simply because the the quarterly theory was applied based on the overlapping sessions of this one is for the Sydney to Tokyo. Sorry, this one. Sydney to Tokyo, and then the Asian to London, and then we have here the London to New York. So for me, this is the best session in trading the market because volatility is high, and based on the markings or the automatic boxes that you can see, we can all agree that we see volatility during this uh, session or overlapping session. Here, this is a classic AMDX, meaning the A here is the accumulation, then it created a manipulation, or usually that manipulation can be traded using a turtle soup or simply a sweep of the first quarter of the overlapping session of the Sydney and Tokyo. And then after that, since there is a manipulation already here, this is the distribution, and this is the X or the possible continuation or reversal. So in quarterly theory, the four quarter structure there are two possible structures. It's either an AMDX or an XAMD. So when I say AMDX, the accumulation happens in the first quarter of the overlapping session. And in this case, that's the first quarter. And then the second quarter of the overlapping session of the Sydney and Tokyo is happened in the second quarter or the quarter 2. And then expect that the third quarter will be a distribution, and then the X will be a continuation or a reversal. But in this case, it's a continuation of the downtrend. That's why this structure is AMDX. Now, what is XAMD? This is an example of an XAMD, the current price action right now. If we will try to look at carefully, this is the overlapping sessions of the London and the New York. So the first quarter at 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. of the New York time zone. Then the next R will be the accumulation, and then the manipulation happened around here. So as you can see, X as continuation. Here the X will be considered as the continuation. The second quarter will be the accumulation, and the manipulation happened on the third quarter of the overlapping sessions of the London and the New York. So I am expecting a bounce, at least 3 waves bounce here before it will continue to go down. And that's how you use the quarterly theory really reloaded in a different time zone. And that time zone is the overlapping sessions of the Sydney and Tokyo, the Asian session and the London, and then the London session and the New York session. So what I am expecting here is that it will create at least three waves, another wave up before it will continue to go down. So that's another one. That's another findings of mine in trading the market. The quarterly theory reloaded, and then PBCT for the levels where you can, for example, here, if you have considered if you have considered a combination of the quarterly theory reloaded and the previous body candle theory, then your entry point here will be the previous week body high. So from the previous week body high, you use that as your entry point, and then the possible target will be an implied fair value gap, or if you want to consider doing an intraday trade or a semi-swing, then your next target will be the previous week body low. But expect that it will create at least three waves here, three waves up here based on the Elliott wave theory before it will continue to go down. So that's a combination of two research findings that I have, the previous body candle theory and the quarterly theory reloaded. Again, PBCT or previous body candle theory are the key levels of the previous candle. Usually, the key levels are the highs and the lows only, but in the previous body candle theory, we also consider the body high and the body lows of the previous candle. And then for the quarterly theory, it's like dividing the the overlapping sessions of the Sydney to Tokyo into 4 quarters, and then just identify the AMDX or the XAMD. Please take note that the manipulation or the distribution happens in either the manipulation or distribution happens in either 3rd quarter or 4th quarter. So when I say 3rd quarter and 4th quarter, if we will try to look at this carefully, AMDX, XAMD, the manipulation here in the AMDX pattern can be found at that 2nd quarter. However, if there's no manipulation that happens in the 2nd quarter, then the possible manipulation will be on the 3rd quarter. So once the 3rd quarter, if the manipulation happens on the 3rd quarter, just like here, then expect that the price will at least do a distribution going up after the sweep here. And that's one of the reasons why I'm expecting that this will at least go at least 3 waves up, or perhaps retest this previous week body high level, and then before going back to, or before continuing uh, the downtrend. Okay? So even if you use this combination, the PBCT and the QTR, I believe you will have a good understanding of the market if you are an intraday or a scalper. Okay, so now let's proceed. You can ask the question now. I can entertain questions. Before I continue with the Elliott wave counts of the BTC or the Bitcoin. While waiting for the question, let's proceed first to the Bitcoin or the preview of the Bitcoin. In one of the sessions, in the previous session, it was clear to us that based on the Elliott wave theory, the price of Bitcoin will go up. And here's the proof of that. I've created a part, or I cut the part of the BTC wherein I mentioned in the session that regardless whether you're bullish or bearish in the higher time frame of Bitcoin, we will see at least three waves bounce up soon. And during that time, the price was around 74. The session was, the price of Bitcoin was around 74,441. And the date was April 9 or 10, I think. So imagine from 74,441, the price now of Bitcoin is around, what's the price of Bitcoin? Let me check. It it peaked at 94,563. So from this ABC up or three waves up, just like what I have mentioned here, regardless whether you're bullish or bearish in the higher time frame, we will see at least three waves bounce up soon for BTC. And after 2 weeks, we saw what BTC did. It created the first wave and then now creating the third wave or completing the third wave. And I'd like you to appreciate how accurately I have projected the possible reversal of the wave A. The price is 86,311, and if you will try to look at this carefully, the projection for the wave A is 86,311, and going back here, that's the price, target price for our wave A, before it will retrace and continue to the next target, which is the 100,000. As of now, 100,348. As of now, the wave counts is going to the wave 4. Let me adjust this. The possible target or retracement levels will be the following: the 50% or the 236 levels, the 90,472 to 92,632. Going back to the question, okay, after citing whether to use XAMD or AMDX in in the market, what is the best time frame to enter your trade so as not to miss the major wave to continue the trend? Okay, that's a good question. What is the best time frame? In my case, as an Elliottician, uh, I can do Elliott wave counts in the at least the 1 minute time frame. But in the case of those who are not doing analysis in the 1 minute time frame, going back to what I have said a while ago, regardless whether of the time frame that you will use, if you know the PBCT levels, just like this one, the PBCT levels, it will give you a, let me change this into TVC. If you use the PBCT levels, you will see the possible entry regardless of the time frame. Regardless of the time frame, as long as you have identified the previous body levels of the day, week, and the month, as long as the price will go within that time frame, then you may consider trading it as long as you know the bias. So, based on your question, what is the best time frame to enter your trade as to not miss the major wave to continue the trend? Lower time frame. In my case, 1 minute, but even in 5 minutes, that will already do as long as you have identified your previous body candle theory levels. And when I say previous body candle theory levels, I am referring to the daily, monthly, weekly, and uh, even 3 months or 6 months, depending on the levels close to the current price action. So for the AMDX, since this is, if you would like to consider the quarterly theory reload that I have mentioned, in every quarter, in every 4 quarters, there are sub-quarters. And as you can see here, this is the first quarter of the overlapping session of the London and the New York. And as you can see, there's a smaller or a fractal version of the AMDX. Here we have the continuation or the XAMD, and then we have here the XA, or rather the continuation, the accumulation, the manipulation, and the distribution. So basically, if you would like to enter the best, by the way, the best quarters to trade in the overlapping sessions of the London and New York is the second quarter, this second quarter, or the third quarter. So if you would like to enter this or this, then you go to the 5 minutes time frame. Why 5 minutes time frame? Because each quarter in the quarterly theory is composed of 1 hour time frame, or 60 minutes. So you can use 15 minutes, or you can use 5 minutes, or in my case, I am using 1 minute. So you can also apply, since market is fractal, you can also apply the AMDX in each quarter. So if you want to use the 1 minute, it's okay. If you want to use the 3 minutes, it's okay. If you want to use the 5 minutes, it's okay, depending on your entry or exit model. Unfortunately, the PBCT indicator and the QTR indicator are manually coded indicators. So if you are interested in coding it on your own using the AI technology, I would welcome you to enter my Discord community, because we guide them to create their own indicator. Unfortunately, I cannot give it give the codes, because just like what I've said, these indicators were manually coded. Okay. So going back to the Bitcoin. So what we're expecting is at least 3 waves up. The target will be 100,348. What's the current situation of the Bitcoin? The current situation of the Bitcoin is we are on the fourth wave. We are on the fourth wave. And I'm expecting that it will create another high here around 100,348. So imagine from the my session last time, which is around 74,000, the price of Bitcoin after uh, 2 weeks is around 94,500 already. So that's one of the power or advantage of Elliott wave theory. When analyzed well, the we can project 5 or more waves ahead. So basically, it's not a magic, but it's all about understanding all the rules of wave counting and measurements of the Elliott wave theory, which existed uh, many decades already, since 1930s. It's just that uh, as the market is evolving, the Elliotian should evolve as well. So that's the reason why I kept on doing research about trading, specifically the existing trades, and I would like to polish them or improve them based on the data that I have gathered. Since I love doing statistical analysis, I always make sure that I have gathered enough data before I will share it here. So basically, what I have shared here are already tested for how many months already, and what I'm sharing to you cannot be found in other probably social media influencers or traders, but simply because most of these are my own understanding or better version of the existing ones. Like, for example, the quarterly theory for the PBCT, perhaps others would think of it as the CRT, but I have shared this in our community before even the CRT was um, what they call this was mentioned in the Twitter universe. So my PBCT existed way before or years before the CRT uh, was introduced. Okay. If there are any other questions, perhaps if I did not notice it, feel free to join my community. And anyway, everything there is for free. So I would love to welcome you there, and let's grow and analyze together. Sir Jack, what are the big identifiers if QTR starts with X or A? In my case, as a system, I always check the PBCT levels. If the QTR starts with an X or an A, it depends whether there is a PBCT level close to it. Just like what I have shared a while ago, in the beginning of the QTR or the quarterly theory reloaded of the London and the New York session, it was obvious that there is a PBCT level within the first quarter. And in that case, the PBCT level is the PBCT level is the previous week body high. So I'll consider it as a continuation to going downwards. Obviously, first uh, confluence will be the market is on a retracement already. And then that will be since the first quarter, the first quarter of the London and the New York session happened within the PBCT level, which is the previous week body high. I'll use it as my entry and will use this as my SL or this one, or probably the high of that quarter, and then targeting the previous week body low. Or if you would like to consider the implied fair value gaps that I have mentioned, you can also consider that. You're welcome. I'd like to be honest, I'm the type of person who loves sharing my expertise. As long as I am free, I would definitely answer questions, especially if one wants to learn from my experience. You're all welcome. It's already 12:01, and I believe I have given enough information. I hope you're not overheating because these terminologies that you just have heard are not the usual terminologies that you will be hearing from other traders. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everyone. We can now proceed with the giveaway. Thanks, everyone. May I request, Eric, if we could just do all random? I'll just use the wheel of names for it. Thank you, Genesis. Okay, let's do this. Let's just do run all random. How many random numbers will that be, and what's the start and the end? 1 to 77. Kindly confirm, Genesis. Please do not spam the chat by putting your numbers there. The numbers will be based on your arrangement in the chat as the audience. 1 to 79. Okay, let's do this. Let's just open the wheel of names. Let me just use the Excel first for the numbering. 1 to 79 for a while.